We'll see. So in the last class, in the last class, we already discussed some of the important formulas of regarding sliding contact bearing, right? So based on those problems, we try to, based on those formulas, we try to solve some of the important models in this class. So the first problem itself, it gives the clear picture of your problem of your sliding contact bearing. So in this case, we try to use almost all the formulas, right? So that it is easy for you to understand for your coming problems also, right? Okay. Right. Now, I write down the problem. Just you please pay an attention. It is very, very important problem for 14 marks. These problems may ask for 14 marks directly, right? So please pay attention. So I'm read down the problem. Okay. So design a journal bearing. Normally, okay. So design a journal bearing for a centrifugal pump from the following data. So load on the journal is 20,000 newtons, and wait for a minute. Okay. Right. So load on the journal is 20,000 newtons, and the speed of the journal is 900 rpm, and the type of oil is SAE 10. So it is notation SAE 10, for which the absolute viscosity at 55 degrees centigrade, that is 0.017 kg per meter second, and ambient temperature of the oil is 15.5 degrees centigrade, and the maximum bearing pressure of the pump is 1.5 Newton per ounce. Calculate also the mass of the lubricating oil required for a artificial cooling. If the rise of the temperature of the oil be limited to 10 degrees centigrade and the heat dissipation coefficient is 1232 watt per meter square per degree centigrade. Right. So this is the, normally we are having this kind of situation in your examination also. Just simply they have put the data, they are giving the data, and according to the data and according to that particular data, you try to solve the problem. That is the main consideration. Right. Like I already told you that whilever you are having a problem, normally we are having a design a journal bearing or full journal bearing. Likewise, they are asking. In this question also, you are having design a journal bearing. Design a journal bearing for a centrifugal pump. So the application here is for a centrifugal pump. So for the following data, write that load will be 20,000 newtons and the journal speed n equal to 900 rpm, and type of the oil here is SAE 10, and for that oil you are having the viscosity, some viscosity you are having, that is at 55 degrees centigrade you are having 0.017 kg per meter second, and temperature values are given and maximum bearing pressure values are given. So in this case you are required to calculate the mass of the lubricating oil required for a artificial cooling. So you please understand, you please underline that mass of the lubricating oil required for a artificial cooling. This is very, very important term. You have to understand. Right. So after having of your data for your problem, the next thing is you please understand the given problem. If you understand the given data, then it is easy for you to solve the remaining problems. What are the data that is given and what are the required parameters you are supposed to calculate in order to solve the problem. These are the main task. These are the main task for solving the problem. Any problem in case of your sliding contact bearing. Right? So 302, what's your doubt, Amma? You please post on your chat box. At the end of the session, I will try to clear. You please just listen once. Okay? If any other doubt, you can please post on your chat box. I will clear. Right. So for any given problem, for a sliding contact bearing. First, you try to identify the terms of, like already said in a previous problem, first you try to identify the terminology of maximum bearing pressure and length to diameter ratio. These two parameters are very, very important. Like already said in your previous problem also. Previous case while you are explaining the design procedure of sliding contact bearing. Any problem, any design of a sliding contact bearing, first you try to estimate bearing pressure and select suitable L by D ratio. Select suitable L by D ratio. Then go for the coefficient of friction. Then go for according to your data. Right? Right. Now, in a given this particular problem, first thing is you have to identify that here the application value is given. At what purpose you are trying to making of your bearing is given. At what purpose we are making here in this case, we are making for centrifugal pump. We are making a centrifugal pump, right? We are using for centrifugal pump here. So the application of the bearing is centrifugal pump. Why I have specifically mentioned that centrifugal pump is, the centrifugal pump is very, very important for picking up the data in your data book. For select the suitable data from your data book and specifically mention. Here the application is mentioned, centrifugal pump. Okay, fine, very good. Next thing is you have to observe here is directly in your given problem, they're supposed to ask for calculate the artificial cooling. Directly they mentioned that artificial cooling, calculate the mass of the lubricating oil required for artificial cooling. That means this system is required, whether this system is required artificial cooling or not. If required, what is the mass of the fluid? Mass of the lubricating of the oil. Those things you're supposed to calculate. Right? Those things are you are supposed to calculate for this problem. That means you require to calculate the coefficient of friction, also amount of the heat generated and also the amount of heat dissipated. Then you try to estimate the difference between amount of heat generation and amount of heat dissipation. Then after that only you came to know that whether the system is really required artificial cooling or not. Right? Then only you calculate. In order to deviate, in order to confusing that, they will give the problem whether the system is artificial cooling or not. This system will be calculated based on the difference between amount of heat generated and amount of heat dissipated. Those two things are very, very important. Right. Now directly we have to move to the solution. Right. Right. So in order to provide the solution, first you have to try to write down the given data of this particular problem. So given data means here already you know that it is very, very easy. So you are having load value W equal to 20,000 newtons, W value or P value, whatever is the notation. It's your convenience, no problem. So here load is 20,000 newtons, speed is 900 RPM and T naught value is 55 degrees centigrade and Z value, absolute viscosity. Z value is absolute viscosity, you are having 0.017 kg per meter second. You please pay attention of absolute viscosity. Here the value is directly given. The value of Z value is directly given. In some situations, in some example problems or exercise problems, whatever it is, you will have the value of Seibold viscometer. Then you have to convert the value somehow. Unless otherwise, simply directly you can take the value of Z, absolute viscosity. Here the value is directly given, absolute viscosity value Z equal to kg per meter second. The value is 0.017. And ambient temperature value is 15.5 degrees centigrade. And bearing pressure value is 1.5 Newton per mm square, right? And artificial cooling, if the rise of temperature of the oil is 10 degrees centigrade. And heat dissipation coefficient C equal to 1232 watt per meter square per degree centigrade. Heat dissipation coefficient. You please understand the terminology and symbols. Terminology and symbols are very, very important. Load is W, bearing pressure is P, heat dissipation value is capital C. Clearance also we are using C. If you want to make any differentiation, it's your choice, no problem. Right? Right. Or you can write as CH, heat dissipation coefficient, so that you can write as CH, no problem. No problem. Right? Heat dissipation coefficient CH. CH value equal to 1232 watt per meter square per degree centigrade. And speed is N and load is W. Likewise, you are having these values. The values are given like this only. Okay, fine. Now, the actual solution you have to move. Right. Here in this case, Amma, you please listen carefully. If you listen carefully, then only you will understand. Otherwise, you will get confused. Right. So this problem takes much time, Amma, no problem. If you understand this problem thoroughly, you can solve any problem. Almost all the problems are solved in this method only. Right. Okay, fine. Now, here in this case, Amma, you please observe that the bearing pressure value is directly given, that is 1.5 Newton per mm square. Right. And the next value that is given as the application value is given. I mean, at what purpose we are making the bearing? The centrifugal compressor. Centrifugal compressor. Right, fine. Now, first thing is, I already told you that first you're supposed to calculate the bearing pressure value, then go for the L by D ratio value. L value suitable length of the bearing and suitable diameter of the bearing. Now, what is your equation normally for a bearing pressure calculation? Already you are having equation, that is P equal to W by area. That is a normal equation. Right? So first step is estimate the bearing pressure value by using the relation P equal to W by L into D. After that, select the suitable values of length of the bearing and diameter of the bearing. That is what we supposed to design of your bearing. So in this case, also same procedure, P equal to W by L into D. Now you know the value of P value, P equal to 1.5 Newton per mm square, and you know the value of W. W value also 20,000 newtons. Now what about L and D? That is the question. Now what about L and D? These L and D values are not specified in your given data. Is it specified? You please observe. Is it specified in your given data, L value and D value? So no values are specified. No values are specified. L value and D value are not specified in your given data. Then what is the next step you are supposed to consider? That is the basic point here. That is the basic point here. Right? In some situation, because this step is very, very important. This step is very, very important. Why? Because means in some situation, the P value is given and L value is given, then W and D values are unknown. Right? So definitely you are having two unknown parameters for your while you are solving the answer of this particular problem. Normally, whenever you are having a tough question, definitely you are having two unknown parameters. It may be a L and D, or it may be a P value, or it may be a W value. Whatever it is. Right? Maybe the parameters are changed, but the actual thing is same. I hope you understand, Amma. So in some situation, you may unknown parameter of P value and W value. In some situations, you may the unknown value of only L and D. That means at least two unknown parameters will be there in the given equation. P equal to W by L into D. In that particular situation, what you are supposed to do? Right. The first and foremost thing is, first you try to understand or identify at what application the particular bearing is manufacturing or designing. At what particular basis you are designing of your bearing, for centrifugal or for remaining applications, whatever it is. So in this, centrifugal compressor is given. On the particular case, you are trying to design of your this particular bearing. Right. Suppose in this case, the centrifugal compressor is given. Right. So directly you can go for the in your data book. Refer your data book and identify the centrifugal compressor and bearing pressure value there. Right. Now, normally in that particular application, in your data book, centrifugal compressor and bearing pressure value and L by D ratio values are mentioned. You please observe on your data book. Maybe the values are varying, but these things are common things. Zn by P value is there, D by C value is there. Each and everything is provided on your data book. You please go through of your centrifugal compressor. On the centrifugal compressor, you please try to verify what is the actual bearing pressure value there. And correspondingly you are having and correspondingly. Right. No need to worry. Please be patient. I will explain everything. Please be patient. Please be patient. I will explain. Right. So please go through your in your data book. You are having bearing pressure value, centrifugal. First one is applications. Application will be there in your what we call in our columns. Application and corresponding bearing pressure value and corresponding L by D value, corresponding Zn by P value, and corresponding remaining values, maybe C by D or D by C. Likewise, you are having values. You please observe. On that particular case, you are having bearing pressure value. The bearing pressure value will be varies from 1 to 2. You please observe those things. Your bearing pressure value will be varying from 1 to 2. And the corresponding L by D ratio is 1.6. Or maybe it may be varying. It may be varying. L by D ratio value also. Right. Now the thing is, L by D ratio value is given, that is 1.6 or something like that. Whatever the value you are having in your data book, you please consider. You please consider. Now the thing is, L by D ratio equal to 1.6, so that L equal to 1.6 into D. So for my convenience only, I am assuming D value as 100. Why only 100? Why not 200? Why not 300? Why not 150? Those things also I will explain, no problem. So for my convenience, whether this diameter value will be correct or wrong, we will check, no problem. We will check whether this diameter value will be right or wrong. Okay. So for my convenience, I am picking some value. My value is diameter value is 100 here. Now calculate P value. That means bearing pressure value. Now calculate bearing pressure value. Here the bearing pressure value is P equal to W by L into D, and those L into D value is some value 160 into 100. Right. So diameter value is 100 and L value is calculated 160. So based on these calculations, you will get the answer of 1.25. I hope understand this point, especially this step especially. Right. What I did is very simple thing. First I take my data book and choose the application and select the corresponding values. Now I assume the value of D. My assumption is D value is 100. Just value, it is only value. My assumption. Your assumption may be 50, or your assumption may be 70, your assumption may be 120. It's your choice. But you have to satisfy the condition. How do you satisfy? Right. Now calculate the bearing pressure value. Here the bearing pressure value is P equal to W by L into D, and your value is 1.25. This value, this 1.25 value is when you are assuming that D value is 100. When your assumption value D value is 100, the bearing pressure value is 1.25. Right. Very good. Fine. Now what is the actual bearing pressure value varying from for a centrifugal compressor in your data book? It is to be varied from 1 to 2. Right. Is it correct or not? In your data book, the bearing pressure value will be varying from 1 to 2. And by choosing the value of D equal to 100, what is my bearing pressure value? My bearing pressure value is 1.25. So it is within the limit of 1 to 2. Right. So I am not exceeding my value. I have taken within the value only, my bearing pressure value within the value only. By getting the value, or by taking the consideration of D equal to 100, my bearing pressure value is 1.25, so that my D value is safe. My assumption is correct. Suppose some other student take D value equal to 300, 200 without knowing. 200, 300. No problem. Same thing. Now calculate P value. Suppose if your calculation value is 2.75. Suppose let us assume that your calculation of P value is 2.75. On that particular case, what happens means your value will be exceeding the bearing pressure value. What is the actual thing that is for centrifugal compressor in your data book? Likewise, you have to choose them. Likewise, you have to select. You have to justify your taking assumption value. That is more important. You have to justify, right? Here I justify my value. My value is 100. I am consider my assumption. Here D value is an assumption. Here D value is an assumption. My consideration is for D value is 100. For calculation purpose, I am taking D value is 100. Whether it may be correct or wrong, those things will be observed by calculating the bearing pressure value again by taking off these values of L and D. By taking off these values of L and D. If these L and D values are within the bearing pressure value, then only these dimensions are correct. Otherwise, again, you have to consider the remaining value. I mean, you have to go back to your remaining trial and error method only. Trial and error method only. This is just only trial and method, just for assumption. But my assumption is by default, it is correct. It is correct because it is within the limit of your bearing pressure value. Actual bearing pressure in your data book is 122. Here my value is 1.25. So my value is correct. If it is exceeding more than 2, then only you have to thought about this 100 value. Then you have to think about this 100 value. Right? So this is the actual problem you are facing in your examination normally. Any one parameter is missing. Any one parameter is missing. So those parameters can be calculated either by knowing the application, either by knowing the diameter, either by knowing the bearing pressure value. Right? Those things are to be considered from your data book. So you have to approach in this manner only. Right? This is very, very important step, Amma. Once you know the bearing pressure value, then remaining parameters you can easily calculate it. Remaining parameters are you can easily calculate it. I hope you understand these steps, Amma. P value especially. Normally bearing, and you are having one more doubt. Actually, the bearing pressure value is 1.5 value is given, right? In your given data. In given data, 1.5 value is given. So based on those things also, this value is correct. This value is correct because your value is only 1.25. If you know the value of L and D, if you consider the value of L and D, this value is 1.25. It is also within the limit of 1.5. So that your L dimension and D dimension is correct. L dimension and D dimension are correct. Right? Okay, fine. Now, you please move on to the second one. Right. Now, so I already told you that you are supposed to calculate the coefficient of friction, right? So in order to calculate the coefficient of friction, I already told you that in a sliding contact bearing, you are having a McKee investigation. I hope you already understand the McKee investigation concept. Whenever I have explained the McKee investigation, I will tell you that Zn by P value equal to some K. But the K value will be not directly taken. We are supposed to calculate 3 times of the K or 15 times of the K. Likewise, you are supposed to consider. I already explained the concept. Here, the concept will be applied here. So first, you have to calculate the coefficient of friction. You already know the formula of coefficient of friction. What is the formula of coefficient of friction? Mu equal to 33 by 10 power 8. Some D by C, some Zn by P. Zn by P, D by C plus K. Right? So already you know the value of coefficient of friction formula that is available. So I have tried to derive each and every parameter. What is Zn by P, what is D by C, and what is plus K. We will let you know one by one. Right? The first parameter is Zn by P. Now calculate Zn by P value. Now calculate Zn by P value. What is Zn by P? That is the absolute viscosity you are having. That is the absolute viscosity. What is the absolute viscosity? 0.017. Right? Next, what is the speed? Speed is 900. And the bearing pressure value is 1.25. Right? So this is the parameters only we are having. Zn by P. That is the absolute viscosity. The data is given. N is the speed. Already speed value is given. Bearing pressure already calculated. Bearing pressure value 1.25. Right? Now calculate the Zn by P value. Though Zn by P value is 12.24. Though Zn by P value is 12.24. Right. Now the thing is, now please observe your data book, Amma. Now you please observe in your data book. What is the Zn by P value on the your data book? You please observe. You will have the value of Zn by P for centrifugal compression. Centrifugal compressor, you are having a Zn by P value. So I am having Zn by P value is 28. You please observe from your data book. You please observe from your data book Zn by P value. You please post your answer Zn by P value for your centrifugal compressor, corresponding centrifugal compressor. What is Zn by P value in your data book? Right, 26, 28. Okay, right. Next. Next. 39. What's your doubt? Please post on your chat box. What is your doubt? Number 39. Please post your doubt on your chat box. So remaining persons, if you are not having data book, it is difficult, very difficult to understand what I am saying here. I already told you that you please bring a download or purchase whatever it is. Data book is with you only. Otherwise, it is very difficult for you. There is no other way. Without data book, you cannot solve the problem. I am helpless without data book. Everything is related with your data book only. Only one person is responded for 28. What about the remaining persons? Is the value same 28 or nearer to 28? Zn by P value 28. Okay, fine.
28.
Okay, fine. This is your choice, Amma, whether you are having a data book or not. So I can't help. All right. Okay, fine. Now, so after knowing of Zn by P value is 28. Now you simply equate those Zn by P value equal to 3 times of the K, where K is called as the, what we call as the K? What is by K? What is known by K? So K is called as the bearing characteristics number. K is called as the bearing characteristics number. So those Zn by P value should be equal to, it may be 3 times K, it may be 15 times K, it's your choice, as per your convenience. Here I am taking Zn by P value is 3 times of the K. You please go through the McKee investigation. Why I am taking 3K or 15K or 10K? It depends upon the type of loading condition. You are not supposed to take Zn by P values only K. Zn by P values in terms of 3K or 10K or 15K. Here I am considering Zn by P value equal to 3K. Now calculate the K value here. Now calculate the K value here. The K value equal to 9.33. So Zn by P value equal to 28. Zn by P value equal to 28 from the table, 28 by 3. That is 9.33. Now you please observe what is the theoretical value and what is from your table value. So based on your calculation, you will get Zn by P value equal to 12.24, but from the table you will get the value of 9.33. 9.33. You please observe the two values you are having. One is 12.24 by making of your calculation according to your given data, right? Now from the table you will get the value of 9.33. Now what is the conclusion of these two values? What is the conclusion of these two values? The conclusion may be like this. The calculated value of bearing characteristics number Zn by P equal to 12.24 is more than 9.33. More than 9.33. Then you can say that the bearing will be operated on hydrodynamic considerations. This is the conclusion you have supposed to write. This conclusion you are supposed to write on your examination. Very important conclusion. First thing is, first calculate Zn by P value according to your given data. Then you please go through your data book, then check your Zn by P value. What is your Zn by P value? Now calculate the bearing characteristics number. Then compare these two values, whether it is more than value or less value. If it is more, then it is a hydrodynamic condition. Because in a sliding contact bearing, in a McKee investigation, we are having two cases. right? So that you have to justify of those two cases based on this conclusion. Based on this conclusion. Okay. So Zn by P value, right? It will be under operating on a hydrodynamic consideration. Right, fine, very good. Now, again go back to your data book. Now please go back to your data book again. Again in your data book, you please go through the clearance ratio, that is C by D ratio. C by D ratio. Right? You please go back to your clearance, data book. On the data book, check the value of clearance ratio of C by D. See, already I told you that first of all, Zn by P value is the value that I have calculated according to your given data, right? Already you are having some data. Based on that data, you are calculating absolute viscosity value and value. And you have to check whether there are two operating conditions in a sliding contact bearing. You are having two operating conditions, right? And you have to check whether it will be operating on a hydrodynamic considerations or remaining considerations. In order to check this condition, you have to conclude that. Based on the bearing characteristics number, you have to conclude that whether it will be operated on more value or less value. So that is the reason why we have taken Zn by P value is 28 from your data book. It is available already in your data book. It is already available in your data book. No need to worry. Zn by P value is already available in your data book. Just for making a conclusion. Right? Right. Fine. Now, take the value of C by D ratio, same data book, same centrifugal compressor, corresponding value of C by D. What is the C by D value? Please observe in your data book. My observation is 0.0013. My observation is 0.0013. You please refer your data book and please post your answer on your chart box. If there is any variation means I will let you know. In a centrifugal compressor, what is C by D ratio? Corresponding C by D value. Corresponding C by D value. Nobody is having your data book means I can't help them. Simply I read down the answers, then you will verify. I will post your, I will share this PDF and simply you have to calculate. No problem. There is no other way. I can't help. See, if you are unable or if you are not following the data book, then it is very, very difficult for you only, because in the examination simply how to just copy those values and paste it in our answer sheet. All the formulas are available in data book also. Again, I am repeating the same thing in each and every class. If you are not responding from the coming classes, right, simply just read down the problem and read down the answers. No need to explain. If the problem is, if suppose we are having the problem in this manner, on this manner, so how they are supposed to ask? All those things I need to discuss anything, Amma. If you are not having data book, what is the use? What is the use? At least you are having the textbooks of your R.S. Kurmi and Bhandari. R.S. Kurmi is already provided, or at least Bhandari, or at least some other textbook. Data book at least, especially. In order to just know the parameters, what are the actual things that are available on your table. Actual things that are available on your table, those things will be available. Those things will let you know by observing the table. Otherwise, how can you? Because I will told you that each and every textbook will be varying. Clearance ratio, the symbol may be vary. Here I am taking C by D. In some other textbook, they may take some other parameter. You are having such kind of problems. So in order to avoid such things, just simply I am explaining each and every terminology, each and every term. So I can't help, Amma. Just simply note down the value. It's your choice. Just simply note down the value. Mu value equal to 0.0051, and just simply remember the K value, Amma. Here K value represents not bearing characteristics number. Here the K value represents the side leakage. Whenever you are having a side leakage, the value will be taken as 0.002. The value will be 0.002. Here the K value is leakage value, side leakage. Side leakage factor you consider K value is side leakage factor, that is K value equal to 0.0012. Now the question is, already I told you that artificial cooling required or not. Whether you required artificial cooling or not. In order to estimate the artificial cooling or not, simply calculate the amount of heat generated. So already I provide the formula for amount of the heat generated. So Qg equal to mu into W into V. So coefficient of friction mu value is already calculated 0.0051, and W is the load 20,000, and V is the rubbing velocity. And V is the rubbing velocity in terms of meter per second. V is the rubbing velocity in terms of meter per second. Now calculate the amount of heat generated, Qg. Qg equal direct formula mu into W into V. That is 480.7 watts. Your answer will be 480.7 watts. Right? Right. So this is very easy. Direct formula. Qg value is direct formula. Now amount of heat dissipated. Right. Now amount of heat dissipated. Amount of heat dissipated equal to Ca into Tb minus Ta. Already we know the formula in the yesterday class I explained. Now how do you calculate Tb minus Tb value equal to half of the T0 minus Ta. So T0 value and Ta values are provided on your given problem. T0 value and Ta value is already provided on your given data. On your given data. T0 value and Ta value 55 degrees and 15.5 degrees centigrade. Right? Right. Now calculate heat dissipation coefficient value, heat dissipated value. So those heat dissipated value will be 389.3 watts. 389.3 watts. C value is the heat dissipation coefficient. C value is heat dissipation coefficient. Right? So the answer for the heat dissipation is 389.3 watts. Okay? Right. Now you have to observe these two relations. Now you have to observe these two relations. What is the relation? Amount of the heat generated and amount of the heat dissipated. Amount of the heat generated and amount of the heat dissipated. Amount of heat generated and amount of dissipated. Now you'll observe that amount of heat generation is more than amount of heat dissipated. Amount of heat generation more than heat dissipated. What happens? If the amount of heat generation is more than heat dissipated, what happens? At least you try to answer for this question. What happens if you are having more amount of the heat than heat dissipated? What is your result? What is the result of your bearing? If amount of heat generated is more than amount of heat dissipated. Try to answer, Amma. Try to answer. What is the amount of, if amount of heat generated is more than heat dissipated, what is the result of your bearing?
The component of it get cooled.
So somebody is saying cooling. Load, warm of the bearing. So just see, maybe he, okay. Right. That means here the amount of heat generated is more than dissipated, means more amount of heat is there than leaving. That means you are having more amount of the heat. That means your bearing is required cooling. That is, natural cooling is not sufficient. Why natural cooling not sufficient? Means you are generating more amount of the heat than dissipating. You are generating more amount of the heat than dissipating. That means you are required additional cooling is required. Additional cooling is required. So there are two possible cases, Amma. There are two possible cases if you are having this situation. there are two possible cases if you are having this kind of a situation. What are the things means? Either you have to redesign of your bearing because you are having more amount of the heat. So whenever you are having a more amount of the heat, there is a change in dimension, there is a friction, and there is a wear and tear, right? So that what you supposed to do means either you have to redesign of your bearing. That is the one aspect. Either you have to go for redesign. And second thing is either you have to go for the additional cooling equipment, or additional cooling method means artificial cooling other than natural cooling. You require artificial cooling. You require artificial cooling, right? Right. So either you have to redesign your bearing or you have to go for a artificial cooling. Now amount of artificial, how much amount of the artificial cooling is required? So there is a difference, amount of heat generated minus amount of the heat dissipated. Amount of the heat generated minus amount of the heat dissipated. That is 91.4 watts amount of cooling is required. Means addition of heat, that is. That is the addition of heat after dissipating. Still, this much amount of heat is still there on your bearing. 91.4 watts. 91.4 watts of heat is still there on your bearing. So then you require cooling. Cooling is required. So that much amount of cooling, that much amount of the heat is required, cooling. Right. Now, so for artificial cooling, what is the mass? Right. See, why I am taking this example is because there are small problems are also available on your textbook. But the thing is here, why I have to consider this problem especially is this problem will cover almost all the formulas for one by one in each and every step. Suppose if I'm considering the direct value of Z value and P value equal to W into L by D, it is very, very easy for your calculation. For your calculation, it is very, very easy. You directly substitute the value of W and L into D, right? You can easily solve those problems. But my intention is if you are understand these kind of problems, if you understand these problems thoroughly, maybe it will take one class or two class, no problem, or I consider one more problem same manner, in the same manner. Then what happens means you can easily understand and you can easily solve whatever the problem it is given for your examination. It may be toughest set, it may be easiest set. This is the procedure. So what is there if you substitute the direct value of W, L and D? Almost you are having another problems also there. I will discuss in the next class. Same problem, direct problems already you are having in your textbooks, right? So that is the reason why you have to understand, you have to make you to aware how they're supposed to ask in your examination. So that is the reason why I consider this example. Maybe it is somewhat difficult for you because this is the starting class of your studying cutter bearing problem. But once after having of your class, you please go through of this PDF or problem, then it is easily for you to understand. There is nothing there, nothing there. Just please pay an attention, pay an attention. First bearing pressure value supposed to calculate. Bearing pressure, what happens? Bearing pressure means P equal to W by L into D. What happens if you are having unknown parameter? That is your question. నాకు అన్ని వాల్యూస్ తెలుసు అనుకోనమ్మా, ఎవరైనా సబ్స్టిట్యూట్ చేస్తారు. వాట్ ఈస్ సపోజ్ యు ఆర్ హ్యావింగ్ అన్నోన్ పారామీటర్స్, మీకు ఎగ్జామ్ లో అన్నోన్ పారామీటర్స్ ఇచ్చాడు అనుకోండి, హౌ యూ సపోజ్ టు కన్సిడర్? మీకు బేరింగ్ ప్రెజర్ లేకుండా ముందు స్టెప్ వెళ్ళడం అనేది పాసిబుల్ లేదు. దెర్ ఇస్ నో అదర్ వే, దెర్ ఇస్ నో అదర్ వే టు మూవ్ ఫార్వర్డ్ ఆఫ్ ది ప్రాబ్లం. ప్రాబ్లం లో ముందుకు వెళ్ళడానికి అసలు అవకాశమే లేదు. If that is the case, how you supposed to solve those situation? For those cases only I am explaining this thing, right? That is my intention, right? I hope you understand the situation. So andukani నేను ఈ ప్రాబ్లం కన్సిడర్ చేసుకొని చెప్పడానికి ఇదే నమ్మ మీనింగ్, right? So after having bearing pressure, it is very easy for you remaining things. What is there? Almost all the things are taken from your data book. Z by P value and C by D ratio value already taken from your data book only. Only the difficult part is bearing pressure. Everywhere for every problem. Like in this problem, especially in this model of the problem. In this model of the problem, bearing pressure value plays a key role. Okay, right. So I will provide some examples also, Amma, in order to make you to calculate on this model, so that it is easy for you to understand this concept. Right, remaining problems are very easy. Direct formula substitution, direct formula substitution, right? Okay, fine. Right. So you can calculate the formula. Mass means already provided the relation Qt equal to m into s into t, where s is the specific gravity of the oil. Those specific gravity of the oil, either you have to take from your data book, or otherwise simply you have to write down this relation. 1842 2100 joule per kg per second. 1842 2100 joule per kg per second. S value. Right. So remaining things are same. We can calculate. Okay. So m value will be available. M value is 0.0048 kg per second or 0.288 kg per minute. So I hope you understand this value, Amma. I hope that, I mean, I think as far as this problem, Amma, you may are very much aware of that amount of heat generation, amount of heat dissipated, and this what we call mass of the fluid. And you feel difficulty in choosing of this bearing pressure value. I hope that is the only difficult part. Remaining things are easy, right? Only bearing pressure దగ్గర మాత్రమే మీరు ఏదైనా కొంచెం కన్ఫ్యూజ్ అవ్వడానికి పాసిబిలిటీ ఉందమ్మా. There is no other way. Remaining areas are directly you can consider from your data book values. Only bearing pressure value దగ్గర మాత్రమే కొంచెం కష్టపడి ఉంటారు. But you please practice on this bearing pressure value, then you can easily understand. There is no difficulty, right? So after having of this class, please go through this problem again. You please go through this problem again and come back with your doubts on Saturday's class, Amma. Saturday class lo meer malli doubts tho randi. I may explain again same problem on this model, and you please compare with these two problems and you are with doubts also. Me doubts even unte ganaka dintho compare cheskondi, then it is very easy for you. So only please pay attention on bearing pressure value. After that you will having very easy method, very easy. Only one step is required. Attention, careful attention, right? So if you have any doubt, you please feel free to ask doubts, Amma, and solving the problems. Not to solve the problem. By solving the problems, you please pay and you please come with your doubts. I will explain each and every doubt. Problem solve చేయకుండా డైరెక్ట్ గా మీరు వచ్చేసి ఆ వాల్యూ ఎలా తీసుకున్నారు, ఈ వాల్యూ ఎలా తీసుకున్నారు అనేది ఇట్ ఈస్ very difficult part to explain. Once you solve the problem, find difficulty. Then only came to know that what is the difficulties you are facing. Then only what is the difficulties you are facing. Right? Right. So this is the problem, a very interesting problem you are having. In your examination point of view, this problem is asked for 14 marks question, Amma. Direct 14 marks question. Right? Almost all the 14 marks questions are like this only. But there is a variation. They may ask for what we call Sommerfeld number, or they may ask for heat generation, heat dissipated. Only those parameters are varied. Only in this problem, I just simply left only Sommerfeld number. Remaining things are almost, I covered almost everything. Almost everything I have covered. I left only Sommerfeld number. How you supposed to take the Sommerfeld number calculation? Remaining things as easily I have covered each and every formula. Just simply learn this model, Amma, especially. Right? Please post your question on your chat box, Amma 370. Please post your question on your chat box. So somebody is raising the hand, and those who are raising the hand, please post your question so that it is very easy for you. I mean, for me to explain everyone. Is there any question? Those who are raising the hand, please post. Okay. Heat generated, right? Okay. Heat generated is nothing but the computing, Amma. Right. So after having of your coefficient of friction, after having the value of your coefficient of friction, then what is the formula of amount of heat generation? Amount of heat generated on your bearing will be based on your coefficient of friction, W value and V value. V is called as the rubbing velocity. Mu is the coefficient of friction, W is the load, and V is the rubbing velocity. Direct formula substitution, right? Amount of heat generated is the direct formula substitution. So you please note down the value of mu value, W value, and V value. you are having 480.7 watts. You please underline the amount of heat generated. 480.7 watts. Amount of heat generated on your bearing. This is directly based on your relation. Mu into W into V. You please refer your formula sheet also that I provided. Next is amount of heat dissipated. See, amount of heat dissipated value 389.3. So that is in terms of 400 and it is in terms of 380. It means amount of heat leaving is less. You please understand. Amount of heat is more and leaving is less. What happens? Still some amount of heat is left on your bearing. Mana main ఏమేంటమ్మా, మనం bearing ni sufficient గా friction లేకుండా run చేసుకోవాలి, friction avoid చేసుకోవాలి. But still if you are having the more amount of the heat, it also causes the wear and tear. ఎంత అమౌంట్ హీట్ మిగిలిపోయిందమ్మా బేరింగ్ లో? 91.4 watts bearing, 91.4 watts amount of the heat is lefted on your bearing, right? 91.4 watts amount of heat is lefted on your bearing. అంత అమౌంట్ ఆఫ్ హీట్ ఇంకా మిగిలిపోయింది. ఎందుకని? హీట్ జనరేషన్ ఏమో ఎక్కువగా ఉంటుంది, leaving of the heat dissipation is leaving is less compared to that of your heat generation. So that you require artificial cooling. Suppose for a case amount of heat generated is less. Suppose amount of heat generation is 390 and amount of heat dissipated is 392 or 393 anukondi. Let us example for your assumption only. On that particular case you require only normal cooling because no additional cooling is required, because the amount of heat generated is same as that of amount of heat dissipated. అక్కడ ఎంత హీట్ జనరేట్ అవుతుందో అంత హీట్ డిసిపేట్ అవుతుంది అనుకోండి, there is no cooling, right? So that is the concept amma, that is the concept, right? I hope you understand the concept. So no need to by heart the formula. Please understand the concept, why we require cooling, why we require amount of heat generation, why amount of heat dissipation, coefficient of friction. These things are important. Concept is important rather than answers, right? Right. I hope you understand this form, this class amma. And if you have any problem or any doubt, you feel free to ask at any time, no problem, at any time, right? So by Saturday's class amma, come with your doubts, right? And try to solve many number of problems. As you said, simple problems, right? Somebody is asking for simple problems, just only 2 to 3 steps problems I will explain. 2 to 3 steps problems I will explain on Saturday's class. Okay? Right, Amma. Thank you for your patience.